This is an irony. I'm now on this trail I was researching yesterday. Didn't have any idea that there was anything like this around here. But we'll wander around here. I'm moving ultimately in that direction there. This makes for a nice variant of hiking in the park. This is an old tree trunk just about rotted away. You wonder how old it is when it was first born. Huh. What a giant she must have been in her day. An artery is over in that direction. I am purposely avoiding it so I can maintain my illusion of being out in the countryside. A racing Surrey. It says Stadion, which is actually the name of one of the U-Bahn stations in this area. But this happens to be, again, that small gauge train. That would be a fun ride. We're back at the artery, the main one. And yet, I think down there's the end of the park. We'll see. This looks like some kind of paddleboard game played on a shortened court with paddles. Guess is that what we have here is a road that crosses through the park on an east-west axis. Angling now back in towards the center of the park, but still continuing southward and running alongside of a body of water. This is curious. Whether it's some kind of lake or not inside the park, I don't know. I assume all of these pathways are available to bikes. Pretty little inlet off of that, whatever that body of water is off to our right. It still looks like this is kind of polluted though. It may be an offshoot from the Danube, but without enough capacity for current generation that it stays pretty much sedentary water. Having hiked down there alongside this waterway, I could continue in the same direction under this large freeway underpass. Maybe we'll do it on the other side, but first I need to find out where I are. This would be kind of fun to kayak. You can see that we're not even halfway down the length of this park. So I think maybe I'll just angle down in the direction the arrow's pointing, right to that, I hope is a subway. And then I can figure out how to navigate out of here over to Belvedere Park, where we're going to go next. So I've now touched down in this southern part, the eastern border of the park. I'm going to cross over here and then hopefully get another sense of direction of where I'm going. It takes a little bit of effort to get a view of the Danube, at least in this area of Vienna. You have to either take this walkway or take this circular walkway up here, which is quite clever. And then there's your access, or your exit out there. Somewhere over there is supposed to be the subway station. This is a 360 from the spire of St. Stephen's Cathedral in 1860. Just before the American Civil War began. It was clever that somebody could have done this. But was there even photography? Or is this all from some kind of drawings? This is how a panorama would have looked in 2008. Not that I'm going to bother comparing the two. But it would be interesting to take certain streets like that one that goes along there and see its analog in 1860. The entrance to Belvedere. This is the grand entrance, and then you get the knock the wheels off your carriage view and when you've gone in through this entrance. These once were very lavish gardens, all of which has been buried underneath what you see now, from what I understand. This is the back of the palace. How these sculptures were made, I don't know. But all just faux Roman, Greek. And pretty threadbare. When this was lavish, it would have knocked your socks off. The fountains would have been blasting about. Again, the area below this beautiful cataract, if you will, would have been lavish in its flowered assortment and design. In those pools, the water probably travels underground and into this pool at this lowest level. This pile of faux statues. I should say faux Roman Greek statues, down to the lower palace. Now the interesting thing about this is a lot of it went unused for a long time for various reasons. Finally someone decided to use that lower castle as the art gallery, but then I think they ultimately moved that. Also notice off to the sides, either side is, I think, probably an orchard type area. We'll go down and take a look. First of the sections that parallel on both sides that walkway to the second castle. Patients can only give us a hint of how magnificently all of this would have been landscaped. Here, an open space. Again, the same question. Notice its duplicate on that side. Here, the same idea. Again, we wonder. The slopes are interesting. Did it allow people to walk down into that center part for some reason? Was there any kind of water feature in the center? Were the ramps just a way of dramatizing certain flowers that would have stood out because of their slightly higher elevation? I don't know. I won't visit the insides of the castle because I've been in too many of them and they're essentially the same. Large, giant rooms, sometimes painted, sometimes with wallpaper, sometimes with frescoes, sometimes it's actually original, with a few chunks of furniture and maybe the occasional oven that nobody was going to move, the heat stoves, in other words, the ceramic ones. And basically that's it. Maybe a sign telling you so-and-so slept here. Well, Angelina and Jolie and Brad may have slept in this room, but I want to see the video. This is the lower Belvedere Palace, and it does have some rather outstanding work on the walls. I mean, it's impressive looking. It would be more so in their day when you actually might understand what the allusions were to. And notice the floor, very beautifully done as an inlay. We will exit out now. Our fountain is not working today, but it's interesting to realize I've been at this same spot probably 4 times now, and right behind us to the left, where the camera's facing, is where the Belvedere is. So I passed right by it 4 times, 3 times. I knew that, but I was too tired to go in, and each time that I did go by it. It's about 7:30. These are the tour buses that are already in the parking lot. I wonder if they're already inside when it doesn't open till 8. Or is this just where they park the buses at night and then go pick up the passengers a little bit later?